Hey, Harbor Network family and friends, Dave Owens here. I'm the executive director of our network, and I'm joined by my friend and pastor and Harbor Network president, Jamal Williams, to tell you why we are excited about this year's Leader Summit. For the past 2 years, we've been working through our core values as a network at these summits, starting with renewal-driven mission in 2021, last year, conviction and imagination. And flowing from those two values, we want to hit our third core value, which is diversity. And in particular, we want to help our churches cultivate a multi-ethnic kingdom culture in their churches and in our network more broadly. And to help us do that, our staff and board made the decision in January, after reading it, to lean heavily on this new book, In Church as It Is in Heaven, written by our very own Jamal Williams and Timothy Paul Jones. This book is going to give shape to our conference this year, in particular the main sessions. And we think it's going to be a blessing to you all as you attend. And so we're just going to chop it up a little bit about this book, starting with this question, Jamal. How would you summarize this book in one or two sentences?
Yeah, Jesus' prayer on earth as it is in heaven calls us to pursue here and now what God has promised in the world to come.
One of the questions I love to ask authors is, what prompted you to write this book? What was that passion that was burning in your bones, so to speak, that said, we have to write this book right now?
Yeah, I think for Timothy Paul Jones and I, it was the same thing. It was the gospel. The gospel and its capacity to cultivate multi-ethnic, multi-social economic, and multi-generational churches. I also think just Timothy and I's friendship, along with experiences and core convictions, just compelled us to try to do our best to help shepherd our church and churches like ours and churches that want to pursue this vision together.
Yeah, we know in talking to many of you, Jamal and I both, that as soon as we say the word diversity, a lot of different reactions can take place among your elder teams, in your own heart, and certainly among our conversations. This is a tough topic. So when you think about some of the things that may be challenging for those who are coming, those who will watch this content after the conference, what kinds of things come to mind?
Yeah, some people, when they think about this conversation, they think about politics or division, the division that it can cause. And we just want to say, we want to have this conversation in a way that gives gospel hope, which means that we need to talk about it honestly, the things that are barriers for us, and learn how to lament about those things. But also we want to do that with the gospel as our framework. And that's why I'm excited about it. We also know that we'll have some people who say, hey, I live in a homogenous community, or our church is settled in a homogenous community. This doesn't apply to us. And I just want to say it does. We want to create churches that feel like home for visitors and people who may move into our communities who are not of the same ethnicity or culture. We also want to raise up that next generation that's in our nursery now to be able to fulfill the Great Commission and to be able to cross cultures well.
Yeah, having listened to so many of these conversations with you over the years, I have seen how you approach this conversation with a lot of clarity, with a lot of grace, a lot of deep conviction and passion. And I think if you're considering whether you want to come or not, I think you can be assured that we're going to treat this in those ways as well from the stage and in the breakout sessions. What story comes to mind that gives you hope that as hard as this pursuit is worth it?
Yeah, I think the story that gives me honestly is just Harbor Network itself. The Lord has been doing a great work in our network as we've looked at each value and the way that we've approached it with honesty and mutuality. Our network is just growing. I believe that this is the next place in our network for us to grow. And I think the framework that we've had, the way that we do it each year through these leader summits will continue to just spark renewal in our network and to create churches that have a multi-ethnic kingdom culture.
Amen. All right, so what are you looking forward to this year's summit, beyond all this content we're talking about?
Yeah, as always, just leaving equipped, being with friends, having some good meals, and listening to great main session talks.
Yeah. Well,
what about you?
I think that I love the worship experience. I love seeing friends. And I think just imagining how this is going to impact our churches, giving pastors in particular, but all the leaders that are coming more confidence in your calling. And so it's going to be October 3rd, 4th, and 5th here in Louisville, Kentucky. A lot of information at theleadersummit.com. We hope that you'll consider joining us this fall. Blessings.